Alright guys, this is Dylan, Checkmate Vanguard. We are back to producing content. This tournament season has blessed us very well. I'm with my A-place teammate here. Sorry, A-seeded teammate, Tyler, also known as Black Aichi. He's playing some evil Aichi shit today. So he was in our seed A playing Chaos Breaker. So we're just gonna go over his list, kind of what his tech cards, what his calls were, and just go through it. So go for it.
Alright, so grade 3 ratios, it's kind of weird for this meta. Of course, you run 4 of the Chaos, like 4 Chaos Breaker. Your main ride target gets plus 10k if you have a lock card. That doesn't really matter too much.
There you go.
Doesn't really matter too much if you get the plus 10k because you're mostly going to be striding over this. Generally, you want to ride this if you're going second because you've got Freeze Ray. That's your kind of main going first ride target, considering how the meta is at the moment, where it's very kind of like rush heavy, and it also kind of catches people off guard. Like if they hit you and they don't know what Freeze Ray does, you can kind of just like lock their next attack and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Slow down the tempo.
Okay.
Mainly. Sorry. Alright, you're good, man.
Alright. But yeah, no. So Freeze Ray is just kind of a nice tech card. I just really like it going first, mostly because a lot of people like don't know reading, and it's kind of just fun to
keeping people honest, right?
Yeah.
Kind of was our goal for our team, is just making sure we kept people honest and make sure they read cards and understand interactions they weren't familiar with.
I played against a Tachi player and they weren't reading my cards, and I completely caught them off guard with Freeze Ray. But definitely riding this going first and then going into this going second and striding is very nice because you can G-guard and then unlock their rear guards and use Chaos Breaker's skill to steal their markers and whatnot. Kind of, standard Chaos plays.
Counters marker generation decks really nicely, so.
Like, Harry has a really bad matchup against this.
But they're not meta, though.
That's true. Still, you never know what you're going to encounter. I play this over close mostly because just in this meta,
I just wanted a more active grade 3.
Yeah, no, it does more than close does, and if you ride close, you're pretty much just dead in the water.
Okay, so grade 2s.
Anyways, moving to grade 2s. We got 4 Zirconium, very great card.
Self-explanatory.
CB1, open card, top card of deck, open rear guard circle is locked. It's just very nice. Also giving your Vanguard a crit. If your opponent's grade 3 or greater is really nice, giving that pressure, especially on your stride turns when your opponent can't do much. So that's always nice.
And then Photon.
We got 4 Photons because absolute staple. You've got to play Photon. 3 or 4. I play it at 4 mostly because I really like the on-place, just lock something. I find it really versatile. It does kind of suck that you have to have your opponent have a lock card to lock something, but it's not really all that hard to do at this point. Speaking of having cards to have locked, we run 3 Colony Maker. This is a very great card because it allows you to kind of search out some of your grade 1 targets. Mainly with Colony Maker, you want to be searching out your Carbons. Carbon is really nice because it feeds your soul as well as kind of deck thins a little bit. Carbon's skill is that it puts itself to soul if your opponent has a lock card. And then you can call out a grade 1 or less Starvator. Generally, you want to call out Craven Claw. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
I mean, so what's the last grade 2 you play? You play just one other grade 2?
Yeah, I play one of the
Vivaldio.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce this. Globgogabgalaz, as I like to call it. It's just kind of really nice in the Grand Blue matchup, kind of getting something out of their drop zone. Or generally, if your opponent is recurring something from their drop zone, or if you just want to get a lock card out of them, it's really nice. I only played at 1 because at 2 I felt it was too much. I was seeing it too often, and it wasn't really useful enough to me. But 1, if it comes up, it comes up. It's nice.
You just wanted some sort of accessibility to it. It becomes a 15k number, so that's kind of convenient.
Yeah, it's nice. If it comes up, it's very nice. If not, I'm not too miffed about it.
Okay, so grade 1s.
Grade 1s, 4 Craven Claw. You need 4 Craven Claw.
Consistency with on-hit pressure.
Honestly.
Yeah.
The on-hit pressure is just really nice, and then being able to deck thin even more than you already do with cards like Carbon and Colony Maker is really
Control and lock cards.
Yeah. And then its secondary skill of putting itself into soul and just being able to get that triangle lock off is really, really nice.
Okay, and then consistency, grade 1.
Yeah. for the grade 3 searchers, because you need to find one of these, and if you find one, if you're going first and want the other one, it's really nice to just be able to try and search it out. Of course, you don't always get there, but it's definitely nice to have the option of
Search and heal guardians also slow down your opponent.
That's true. That's true.
So, and then funny card.
The funny card, because we need resources. Zinc doesn't exist anymore. We don't talk about
that's
zinc.
sad.
So we got 3 of the monster countercharger that one-hit countercharge 1.
You didn't like Bubble Mine?
So the thing about Bobble Mine is that you need to have a set order to play Bobble Mine, which kind of really sucks. In my initial list that I was testing pre-BSF season, I was running the prison order, so I was trying to test Bobble Mine, but as we cut that for...
But you
some
were
other
also
cards,
running clothes too, so you
I
needed
was
soul.
also running clothes.
So you need soul.
I did need soul.
So not a big deal.
Yeah, trade-offs. Then again, Carbon is another good soul, and then 1 Elementaria, of course.
Because why wouldn't you play it?
Why wouldn't you? And then we move on to the grade 0s.
Yeah, just clean up just a tad.
Yeah.
Zeros.
0s. 2 Carbon.
Just 2?
Yeah, just 2. 3, you clog too much. This isn't a card you really want to draw into, because it doesn't do much besides go into Soul and search a grade 1, which I mean is nice, but do it too often and it's
You can
just...
search for heals though too, right? Or just grade
So
ones?
the thing about it is it searches and it calls to rear.
Oh,
so
it
you
just
can't
calls.
add it to
Never
hand.
mind then, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Never mind.
So it's really nice just to have it too. Feeds your soul, thins your deck. Really nice. I've been speaking its praises this entire time. I love this card.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Broken
Rank
card.
8 OT. Yeah, the broken card. We run 2 of the Starvader heals
Is
because
searchable?
it is searchable. Also, resources are really, really nice. I love this. I love that it's getting the
Being able to
plus
play a
10
good resource game later in the game.
Yeah, I love that it's getting like the upgrades, like the plus 10k or plus 5k to the power, and then the 15k shield. That's going to be really nice. I'm going to be really happy about that.
Gotcha.
Might consider bumping this to 4 once History Collection.
Alright.
We are playing 2 of the Heal Guardian, mostly for the early game. It's nice as like stride fodder once you get to grade 3, but generally these are really nice for G-guarding because you can just get the counter charge or the soul charge off, and it's just really, really nice because we need as much as we can get in terms of resources.
Then this really dumb crit trigger.
Yeah, no, we got a weird funky ratio for the rest of our triggers. We got 2 of the Starvader Paradigm Shift Dragon.
Ideally this will go to 4 when the triggers get updated, right?
I'm not sure this one's getting a run. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Gotcha.
I don't think so. So it's nice at 2 because 5k triggers kind of suck.
You can search this off Zinc, right?
Yeah, you can search this off of Cravenclaw. Basically,
Not Zinc, sorry. Carbon.
Yeah, you can search it off of Carbon. You can search it off of Cravenclaw. Pretty much anything.
What's the other card? Colony Maker?
Yeah, Colony Maker. You can
Just
call it
for
off of that
a
too.
free lock, right?
Yeah, no. If your opponent has a lock card, put it on top deck, shuffle, and then you get to lock one of your opponent's back row, which is really nice if they got an annoying back row rear guard that you just want to get rid of. Again, 5k triggers kind of hurt to hit. So ideally, you run it at 2 just because it has a really, really nice skill. But the 5k power kind of really...
You're always putting it back in when you call it. So
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, right?
That's true. Then we've got 3 stride crits and 3 of the GB1 into soul crits.
So just 3 of each?
3 of each. I was considering doing a 2-4 ratio. Sometimes you really need the extra soul, so I figured a 3-3 split was really nice.
But that's just that's what works for you, right?
That's true. This deck kind of weirdly likes me. It's odd. But I really wanted to fit in 2, and I didn't want to kind of sacrifice my other slots here. So this is the ratio I've come up with that really worked for me. I find it quite nice.
Okay, and then just kind of the loose ends of the deck here.
Yeah, we've got the starter, which can be anything of your choice.
Any V starter.
And then 3 draw PGs because we really need hand. I considered running the Starvader PG.
The grade 1.
That yeah, the grade 1 that lets you draw a card when your opponent has a lock card. I preferred Elementaria over that because, like, then again, drawing or checking a draw trigger is always really nice. And then it also being a PG, it frees up enough deck space to run my funny, silly little tech cards. But yeah,
that's the main deck, and then G-Zone. Yeah, I think we went pretty much in depth about the numbers and what you liked and what you didn't like.
G-Zone, the first couple slots are pretty standard. 2 universe. You need 2 universe because it persona flips.
You only use it once.
You only use it once. It's really good going first. If you are able to G-guard first and go into it, it's really nice, but if not, just being able to lock down one of your opponent's rear guards is really nice.
Gotcha.
And then a controversial choice, at least to some people, is 4 glue balls. Sorry.
Yeah.
4 glue balls. The first time is really nice. A lot of people don't expect that second time. I've caught quite a few people off guard, just kind of like, hey.
Your goal is to slow the tempo down and kill them on this, like, ideally the third stride, right? The second or third stride?
Yeah, just kind of locking their entire board down and making sure they can't do much is the game plan. It's fun.
Yeah, just making sure Chaos Breaker's carrying the weight and Blue Ball's keeping them locked down.
Right. Then we've got 2 Deluge. Deluge is kind of mostly your win con, ideally the stride you want to kill on. Mostly because it you Soul Blast 1, your opponent calls 2 from hand, and then you can choose one of their lock cards and put it into your opponent's damage zone face down if they have 4 or less damage. So just being able to push them to 5 ideally.
Making sure they guard their rear guards.
Yeah, give them a kill turn that is really nice. If they heal out of it, that's why you run the second one. You don't have to flip a copy of itself for this cost, which is really nice. So you can run 2.
Depends on how the game's going.
That's true. There's also some other kill options, some other tech options that I've thrown within the G zone, just kind of for different situations.
Just
Only one Avalanche.
Just one.
Just one. Just one Avalanche. People kept telling me that mostly you would want to run 2 just because like it's an alternative game plan, so you can bind their rear guards. But I don't like that personally. I really like the fact that I just kind of want to keep my opponent locked.
You never felt like you've had to go into that kind of game plan?
Yeah, no, I didn't feel that way.
Okay.
One of the new stride, the Cosmic Dawn, really nice because it gives you a little bit of multi-attack if you need it. It also lets you deck thin a little bit and find some pieces. You counterblast 1 when it attacks, look at top 7. You can call 2 as locked, and then you can add as many to hand you can add those to hand if you want, or you can unlock as many lock cards as you want. And then for every card you unlock, you get to lock one of your opponent's rear guards, which is pretty nice. It's a nice little multi-attack engine. I run it at 1. If it comes up, it comes up. If not, I'm not too miffed about it.
And then Mr. Massive Marker Removal.
Yeah. Your opponent has a lot of markers. You stride this. If not, it's flip fodder.
And they die, essentially, if they don't guard it?
Yeah, pretty much. Because if they have a lot of markers, it gets a crit and 10k for every marker you remove.
Includes protect gifts. So.
Yeah, generally you don't want to go into this because it kind of counterbalances Chaos Breaker's skill, which does suck, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
Alt wielder, I guess, instead of Stark.
I didn't feel like playing Stark. I'm not broke. I just find this to be funnier.
He turned me down. I was gonna offer him Stark to use in his deck, but he turned me down.
Just GB8. If you get here, you'll win. If you have a lot of soul, which this deck is really good at doing, you can just basically retire your opponent's field, stride into this, make your opponent lock 5 from hand, and then go for the kill. It's delightful. It's a great time.
And then
that brings us to G.
Only 4 G Guardians, which is kind of controversial, but
you don't really need more than 4.
You can just lay them all out.
Yeah, 2 Destiny Guardian, Alacious Karina, and then the Cosmo Wreath one. So this is your main G Guardian you want to go into.
Once you have the game started, locked down.
Because once you're on Chaos Breaker, you can just use this, unlock your opponent's rear guards, pop them, steal their markers, make them cry a little bit.
Draw cards.
Draw cards is nice. This one's pretty good too.
It sounds like you don't really use it.
I don't use it that often, but it's kind of a nice option just to lock your opponent's back row if need be.
If you're going against Murakumo kind of things?
Yeah.
Where they're attacking from back row, same name stuff, and just say no instantly?
Pretty much.
So.
This one is a similar concept. It only locks 1 though for a CB and gets 5k shield. This one you have to lock your own rear guards and flip a G guard, which kind of sucks, but it definitely does come up in the fact that you have to lock your opponent's back row rear guards in mass instead of just 1 at a time.
Right.
So they're 2 different options depending on the situations. They're kind of interchangeable. You could bump this one, cut this one. I also considered running the premium collection, I believe it was, the G-Guard from there.
Yeah, that one's butt though.
Yeah,
I heard it's butt.
it's similar to this, but it's
That's
a
a
Soul
soul.
Blast, and Soul Blast is really, really precious in this deck.
You'd
don't
rather
wanna,
just do Destiny Guardian draw.
Yeah,
play that
you
way
wouldn't
instead.
you wouldn't want to go wasting that willy nilly.
Okay.
But yeah,
You can just kind of go through what your win losses were if you can remember them.
I remember
It's been
a
2
couple.
weeks, I think,
It has
since
been
then.
2 weeks. I'm a little rusty. Round 1, I went against Naru's.
Don't have to go full in depth.
I won against Naru's. That was pretty fun. Kind of locked them out of the game. Couldn't do too much against, with no rear guards and just Vanguard swings. Round 2, I lost against Ghidorah. Ghidorah's always
You don't
on.
have to go too much into that.
I won't go too much into that one. I faced Ghidorah again in round 3, locked him down. That was great. Won against them. Round 4, I don't remember. Was that the Tachi player?
Yeah, that was Tachi.
Yeah, I played against Tachi's. I
Like you
got
said,
to
freeze ray, right?
Yeah, I went into freeze ray. I locked all of their equip gauge units before they got resist.
And you won, right?
I did win.
Won, yeah.
Round 5 was
What? Spike Brothers?
Yeah, it was spikes. It was galley loop, and I lost to that immediately.
They too fast.
Too fast for me to play my tempo, and it's what it is, you know. Can't really control that.
Yeah. But it was your first Springfest. What do you think of Springfest as a whole? Like, you know, playing with teams and like, you know.
It was pretty solid. I didn't get get carried as much as I thought I would.
You went 3-2 at least.
I did go 3-2. That made me pretty happy for my first Springfest. I really felt like we did well. And
It leaves you hungry for more, right?
Yeah, I
Leaves
couldn't have
you
done it
hungry.
without my awesome teammates, man.
Our accursed team of Raging Form, Yasue, and Chaos.
I don't know how we made it that far, but it was.
The fact that we doubled on 9 was kind of disbelief at 3-2, but
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
it was crazy.
Premium at Chicago was wild. That's all I gotta say. Even with just 24 teams. So,
No, it was
a
small,
dogfight.
but it was mighty.
It was a dogfight every round, though.
Yeah, it was.
Dogfight.
I'm kind of glad I didn't have to go up against Commander Jaime. That would have
Oh,
scared
God.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
what are you
But
gonna
stay
do?
tuned, guys. We're gonna have the Yasue deck profile here soon, which is gonna be pretty spicy, as well as the Raging Form. It's gonna be an updated list compared to the one we had in the past, which is gonna be a lot more spicier than the last one. So stay tuned. We'll get those uploaded. Maybe some new matches, some more premium content here soon. But here's some easy content for you guys. This is Tyler signing out. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
This is Dylan Checkmate Vanguard. We are all the peeps. Dylan Checkmate Vanguard here. Cardfight Vanguard Overdress is now here. We look forward to releasing more deck profiles and epic matches this new year of Vanguard. Thanks to Rivals Gaming for the support, as well as our entire locals community.